We was kangs and shit.
My people, your strength is the heartbeat of this kingdom. Together, we will build a future that shines forever.
We was kangs, man. We was kangs. And we ruined shit, dog. Actually, it's real. There were kingdoms within the continent of Africa, because obviously Africa is not just one country. It's an entire part of the earth. Oh man, I was just thinking about this too, right? Okay, because this is going to be a thought experiment here, um, in which serendipitous organization happened amongst African people long before colonialization. And again, this is the same scenario as it is with the native population of Canada, if not the United States, in which half of the story is left out because it's not as exciting and it doesn't provocate people into doing things, right? Because generally, when the professors start talking about stuff like this, it has a nefarious undertone, or the wool has been pulled over their eyes by the people that taught them in efforts to hold the truth back, right? And for those individuals to keep their positions of tenure. And I'm thinking of a particular history professor from Guelph right now, which I'm still not very happy with, by the mere fact that she published misinformation and propaganda, and I want to fucking slap her for doing that. She deserves it. Take her pension. That's what the military does. Anyways, this is the dilemma. There's always this talk about the white man being evil, okay? But humanity is not explicitly evil. We as people are not explicitly evil. We are not possessed by demons or by spirits or other voodoo shit. We are who we define ourselves to be. And I don't know why I should have to use the image of a black man in order to accomplish that. But for some reason, I do. This doesn't make me a king, okay? Especially in places that don't have the internet. Right? Because I can foresee this in the future if it's not happening already, where this was, of course, the idea behind the new aristocracy, which was an article published in the New Yorker, if not the Atlantic. My toe hurts for some reason right now. Ah, what the fuck? My knee did that to me earlier. You know, it's like, what the fuck? It's like someone had like tried to take out my knee while I was in a fight or something, or I'd landed on it. Whatever. Anyways, that's besides the point. That's just like the a here and the now thing. Um, think about it like this. Okay, so you're a tribal leader in Africa, and you see issues. You want to have something done, and you got tribes around you that are fighting you, and they won't stop fighting you, and they won't stop killing your men, and they won't stop kidnapping your women, because that happened, and that happened long before any white person got involved. To think that Africa was a peaceful place and a Shangri-La for all black people before this idea of ministering the word of God through missionaries and emissaries is not only foolish, it's criminal. It's downright propaganda. And this is why I publish this, is because I care about historical record. Because when we keep fucking with the story, then we fuck up the kids' heads, and then we end up in the mess that we're in right now. Because to say that what is happening right now in the here and now in 2026 in North America with this phenomenon of sex, sexuality, and identity, or at least the crux of those three things, to say that this is unique to this moment in time is also foolish. It's not only foolish, it's ignorant. And this is not, I'm not saying that in defense of homosexuality, ever. I will not ever defend homosexuality. And no African king would either. Why? Because it spreads disease. Okay? The unspoken oral tradition of the information lost through the generations, right? Done by one tribe to another. And I need not say anything else. There was always this fight within the continent between different religions. And as we know, because of the New Testament, and the Ethiopian Christians, just by their mere presence and their mere existence, is proof enough for most people. Because the word of God spread through North Africa, the Mediterranean, in the same way that Islam did, in the same way, but not to the same capacity, that Judaism did. So the thought was, we can have allies in Africa and we don't have to go as far. We don't have to go to India. We can just have these colonies and trade with these people in Africa to get what we need. And then a king comes up to us and says, hey, take these people. Okay, so what do you want us to do with them? We don't care, as long as you take them. Right? Okay, so what are you going to do with them? Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess I'm a talent agency now, and I'm not just a missionary, so I'm going to take these people and I'm going to try and put them to work. But they won't accept any money. They don't want it. All they want to do is work in the field and sing songs and make love to each other. So why should I fuck with that? Oh, I got a friend over the ocean. He's opened up this plantation. I know what to do with these people. We're going to send them to the south because they're used to it. And then have them pick tobacco and other laborious crops. And that is exactly how you get slavery. Because, it's not like they were stupid. To think your opponent on the other side of the chessboard is stupid, or to presume that they are, is a huge mistake. It's huge, okay? It's a fucking huge mistake. So, the white people get involved. First with the Portuguese. They start going around the ass end of Africa. And they start going up the rivers. They start trading. And then all of a sudden, these tribes start trading them people as servants. Because to think that Africans didn't have tribal structures, or the people within different areas didn't have tribal structures or dominance hierarchies, again, is foolish. And not only that, it's insulting. It's very insulting. It's not just Wakanda forever kind of shit, okay? We was Kangs, yo. Yeah, but thousands of years ago. See, the problem is that they didn't really write things down. They didn't understand how to make paper. And they wanted paper. They wanted to write things down. They had music. They had textiles, right? As by the tradition. So that was something that they could work with. And the Europeans had something that they wanted. So they traded. The of course the example is of course the dark side of colonialism is the Belgian colonies, right? The King of Belgium was known for chopping off the hands of criminals or repeat offenders, in which the only way that the individual would respond is to a physical intervention, because they didn't speak English, they didn't read or write, and they had no desire to. They had no desire to interact with the white people, with the white devil. And so they continue to speak their own language. They'll speak at you in their own language, and they refuse to cooperate. And then, if there's enough of them, those people then become terrorists. Because, as I've said in other videos, and an African king might say the same thing, in which weak people manipulate, strong people negotiate. It's not like, again, it's not like these people are fools. There's more than a few economies within Africa that are thriving. And you know why they're thriving? Is because they adopted Western ideals. They saw through the bullshit. They started talking to their elders, and they're like, wait a second, something's going on here. We've got too many monkey fuckers here, right? You got to think about all the kingdoms that have existed before, and they were wiped out by disease. They were wiped out by a lack of sanitation, or they were wiped out because of some archaic tribal religious practice, in which they either like eat monkeys, or they fuck them, and then they eat them. See, they figured it out a long time ago, right? Even with sex education, the pee pee and the poo poo, it's hilarious. Okay, God, I never had a problem with fucking black people. I don't know why anyone would ever think such a thing. Oh God, I can't imagine the mental gymnastics other people have gone through just to turn me into an effigy to be burned. Just for them to keep their own positions while everything else falls apart around them. So, what else can I say? They're not going to thrive unless they want to. And that's why there was apartheid, is because the black people wouldn't stop killing the Boers. Right? There was tribes that cooperated with the Boers and the English, the Dutch, and those that didn't. Obviously, that worked out really good for the Zulu, now didn't it? But they, of course, they didn't speak the same language, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to accept anything that we had brought to them. And that was insulting to the Europeans because of how far they had gone and the difference in cultural expectations. So their traditions and their values. Now the British used to think and say of the Indians that they were temperate and that they were decent people, that they were admirable, and that they were easy to work with. But I don't think they were describing the entirety of Indian society either. And at that time, there was still the caste system. And then India did away with the caste system, and some people are still using it because they find comfort in tradition. They would rather put their brains in a jar and fuck a monkey.